I went to the next gym and she wasn't there. Jasmine was at the top of the lighthouse, sitting with the sick Pokemon she wasn't willing to leave. And I didn't know what to do with that. I spent most of my life in gym mode. I'm always preparing, getting ready, and waiting for the thing that needs me to show up. And I think that bothered me because I like knowing the next step. I like having the plan. I like feeling ready before I move. And I do that way too often. Because this week I realized something. Sometimes I use being busy as proof that I'm making progress. But busy and obedient, they're not the same thing. And I'm still figuring out which one I'm doing. In this episode, I crossed an ocean to pick up medicine. I traded a Pokemon from a game I finished 2 months ago. And I finally figured out what I've actually been scared of. So after the Morty beatdown, I had a plan. But a few videos back, somebody left me a comment. They told me to grind, to just train up my Pokemon and the gyms will be easier, which I haven't been doing. I've just been running through this. Zubat was the weakest of them all, but she was the one that carried us through. And she might be the one to carry us through in this next gym against Chuck. The only problem is, Golbat doesn't learn Wing Attack until level 30. And Zubat, she's at level 21. I almost ignored that. Actually, I did for like 2 videos. I had my plans, I had my notes, I even had the strategy guide open, the digital one, because Crystal guide is like $200. I have all the other ones. But I'm trying not to be that person right now. So I trained her. It's crazy because the thing that helped me, it wasn't a guide, it wasn't a video, and it wasn't AI. You know how I am with my Claude. It was a guy who watched one of my last episodes and took 30 seconds just to tell me what he saw. That may sound small, but I needed that. So thank you. Because when you're trying to rebuild your life, it's easy to think you have to figure everything out alone. But oftentimes, God sends help through a person you almost ignored. I almost scrolled past it. And the Dominicans have a saying, uno solo no se cura. You don't heal alone. Jasmine is the gym leader. She's still tight, but she's not at her gym. Amphy has been the light for this whole town. But right now, it's sick. And the medicine it needs is in another city. Jasmine isn't training. She's not ready for me. She better be. She's just sitting here with Amphy. And that part stayed with me. Because I've been trying to get to the next thing so badly that I started missing what needed care right in front of me. How much of my life have I spent in gym mode? Always preparing and always getting ready for the next thing. I don't know if I'd recognize that moment if it came. Jasmine tells me what she needs. The medicine in Shinewood, Cianwood, I always called it Cianwood. So she can't leave Amphy. I didn't think about it twice. Plus, I have to progress the story anyway. So I'm going. Weeping Bell has been carrying half of this team for close to 10 hours. But out here, water poison types everywhere. And he's not getting any new moves. Plus his final form, I need a Leaf Stone. And I can't really evolve him until after the Elite Four. Weeping Bell's been a great Pokemon. Fortunately, just not the right one that I need for what's coming. I do have the Jolteon in another cartridge. In yellow, actually. The original run. He's been sitting in that box the entire time. And with this next gym leader, Chuck does close with Poliwrath, who is water fighting. But poison grass against fighting is kind of bad math. Electric isn't. So I traded Jolteon over. And it's the same Jolteon from the original run. I'm not leaving him in this cartridge. Weeping Bell stepped aside. He didn't get benched. He just made room. Not everything that helped me before is supposed to carry the next part. Some things were just good for a season. Now, that doesn't mean that they failed. It means they did their job. That is easier to say than it is to believe. Medicine first, then Chuck. Golbat just wiped through these trainers. Wing Attack, they could not stand. We get to Chuck. Chuck opens up with Primate. Fast and aggressive. Golbat out, Wing Attack. The Zubat training paid off. He's still not Crobat, but Wing Attack got him there in top. Then Poliwrath and Jolteon, Pokemon from a run I closed 2 months ago, walks in like he never left. I get the badge. I walk out and talk to his wife, who gives me the HM02 for Fly. Finally, I can go wherever I want, right? There's only one problem. Golbat can't learn Fly. Crobat can, but Crobat doesn't evolve through levels. Not through stones, not through trading. She evolves through friendship. You have to heal her, cut her hair or fur, Use her, don't let her faint, and walk with her long enough that she likes you to change. You can't shortcut friendship. You also can't shortcut trust. Can't shortcut healing, and you can't shortcut becoming someone who's actually present. There are haircuts in Goldenrod that give a small friendship boost. There's also a spot you can check where the friendship is at, and she's not there yet. I have a long way to go. I pushed this Pokemon hard to get through Morty, took advice I almost ignored, and made her win a gym she had no business winning. And the one thing she needs from me is the thing I'm the worst at. Time without an outcome. I'm good at plans, I'm good at starting over, but friendships don't work like that. And that line bothered me because I am not great at that. I want the result, I want the upload, I want the next badge, I want the number. But friendship doesn't grow from pressure. It grows from attention. And I'm still learning what attention costs when you're not getting anything back. And Jasmine must know a thing or two about friendships because I go to Chuck, do all the things I did, bring her the potion back, and she's still sitting by Amphy's side. Remarkable. After Amphy is healed, she heads back to her gym and I follow along. Jasmine is the steel type leader, and don't think because she's been at this lighthouse without training that she's rusty. These Magnemites are annoying as hell. So with the first one, I sent out my Quilava. You know, Quilava's gonna torch these things. But I'm underleveled. That has been the laughing joke of this entire run, how underleveled I am. I have to change that. But either way, this Magnemite both paralyzes and confuses my Quilava. But he still pushes through and is able to take him down. Now, Steelix is a different story. Steelix, level 35, far surpasses any of my Pokemon. And I can't use Golbat. I can't really use Jolteon in this run. But I have a Machop who's the perfect matchup, only to be taken out by a single Iron Tail. Yeah. However, Minister of Defense, Sir Wartortle, yo, got a couple surfs. And withstanding some of those Iron Tails that Muscle the Matchup couldn't. And we take the Steelix out. Which then leads us to the last Magnemite. Now, I used Wartortle to kind of weaken it down some because my Quilava was still paralyzed. And I could not beat this Magnemite with my Quilava. That being paralyzed and the Thunderbolts were just a little too strong for it. And this Magnemite actually outsped the crap out of my Quilava. So he comes out. And in the hustle move, I throw out Jolteon, who outspeeds the Magnemite. But it hits a Thunderbolt, and it was dirty, but we got the job done. Badge number 6 is acquired. I told you last episode I was reading a book called Attitude. I already read it. The fear chapter is the one that got to me. I don't think I'm confused. I think I'm scared. And planning is what I do instead of being scared. I'm not posting more because I'm afraid that the numbers will be small. I'm not reaching out to people because I'm afraid that nobody will answer. I think the hardest one is that I'm lost and I'm not asking for help because I'm scared that they'll see I'm not as far along as I've been acting. But the bonus chapter just says, have a crack at it. So that's what I started doing. Just one journal entry, one post, one reach out, one uncomfortable thing done before I have to redo the entire plan again. I do that a lot. Now, I don't know if this is the system or the next version of me hiding, but I'm doing it anyway. My birthday is next week, and I keep thinking about how many years I've spent waiting for the next version of myself. The version that has, you know, the better body, the better channel, the better plan, the one that has it all together. But I don't think God is asking me to hate this version of me into becoming better. I think he's asking me to take care of what's already here. Mahogany is next, but in order for me to love the version of myself who I am now and becoming the version I'm supposed to become, I have to take a few steps back and actually take care of the things I need to take care of. Namely, my room. And also, we need to fill up this Pokedex. And that's the back step. I'll see you at the next gym.